Hey everybody, it's Freddy from Bluefer. I'm here with one of my favorite clients, Taylor. We helped her do $250,000 in 1 month across her 3 locations. And in this client success interview video, we wanted to go over 2 things. One, her sales strategy and consultation process, because obviously to hit these numbers, you have to have a really, really good consultation process. And then secondly, her hiring strategy and hiring process, because she was able to build a really good team to help her manage and run at these 3 locations. And I know it wasn't always like that. She's come a very long way to get to where she is now. So it'll be super interesting to learn more about everything she learned throughout the years. Hey Taylor, how you doing today?
Hi, I'm good. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Well, thank you for joining us, Taylor. To get started, could you give us like a 2 to 3 minute background, kind of like about your story, your background, what got you like even like to the med spa business and the med spa industry from the beginning? I know you've been doing it for quite some while.
Yeah, absolutely. So been 6 years that
Oh
I've been
wow.
doing specifically cryo.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually got started with my own experience. So I had been pretty athletic my whole life,
Mm-hmm.
and I had gained a little bit of weight. So I actually played soccer in college. And so
Mm-hmm.
when I stopped playing, I gained a little bit of weight. And so I did a lot of my own research. I had went
Mm-hmm.
to school for business, so I always knew that I was going to have my own business. So basically, when I had my own experience looking for non-invasive alternatives, I realized that cryo had just started becoming popular. And when I was doing the research, it kind of had the best, I would say, success with non invasive alternatives.
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember going somewhere, having a consultation, and with it not being popular, it was really hard to find places that were offering it. But at the same
Yeah.
time, my experience was just not, I just felt like the place wasn't really doing it for the right reasons. They didn't
Mm-hmm.
really care too much. And so that is kind of what made me realize like there was a need for this, especially where we're at in Florida. I couldn't find on my coast specifically anyone that was doing it. And so that's kind
Yeah.
of how we got started.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And it's been 6 years since then.
Yeah. 6 years, six
That
long years.
That's quite some time, quite some time. Now
Yeah.
I'm sharing these ears and also especially since like with your success and how well you're doing, like how quickly like you're opening more locations as well. I know you have a really good probably like consultations process and sales process because you do very well with your locations and with your team. Could you share with us a bit about like what your consultation process is and kind of like some things you learned throughout the years?
Yeah, absolutely. So, one of the things that I like to do or have the technician who is meeting with them, the consultant, we like to have them actually call them the day before.
Mm-hmm.
We like to touch base with them and give them a little bit of info and then like directions, the tips, and then it kind of leaves them to ask any questions that they might be really nervous about. So I feel like that's definitely one of the first things that we like to do is touch
Mm-hmm.
in the day before, check in with
Also,
the client.
you're telling them like, hey, I'm the specialist you'll be seeing tomorrow. So it makes them more excited to see you because they have like some sort of a connection with the person they're going to see tomorrow.
Exactly. And once
Yeah.
they realize that they can trust you, that they're safe, that you're educated, then they actually come in a whole different headspace than they would if we didn't reach
Mm-hmm.
out. So they're already closer to buying because they already feel safe and comfortable with you
Mm-hmm.
and they feel that established connection.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first thing that we do. Um, then when they come in, we do have them fill out the paperwork in the office because we find
Mm-hmm.
that if they do it before, they might kind of because there are a list of contraindications and they can get a little
Yeah.
nervous. So we have them fill out the paperwork before. And so what we do is we bring them back and we go through the areas that they're concerned with, which I like to kind of get really like on their level. So we'll actually like get on our knees and get on the same level as them. We'll
Mhm.
have them stand up, we'll come down, we'll go through the areas. And I find that it opens them up a little bit
Mhm.
doing it that way. And so we actually don't do like a hard sales process. We kind of build the consultation in throughout the session. So we
Mhm.
kind of keep it going. Um, we hit all the key points, we'll take photos and measurements, and then we'll get them on the bed. And while they're hooked up for the treatment, we, for the most part, stay in there the whole time.
Mhm.
Whether it's going over the areas that, bother them, getting to know them,
Mhm.
figuring out what they've done before. I think that's a big thing is like other treatments that they've tried, their lifestyle, really just building a relationship with them,
Yeah.
putting in the work so that when it does get to the point of the sale, they feel like they're being heard and understood and that you've put the time and energy into understanding their needs. Um, and so then we go over the packages. So I myself, I don't sell anything less than, like, I don't even like to sell 5 sessions. We actually only have 7, 15, 7, 10, 15, and 20.
Mhm.
We don't even like to give the option of 5 for the clients. So we don't even, I think that's one of the biggest thing is like also setting expectations. And so,
Mhm.
um, my years of experience, it definitely takes more than 5 treatments. And I know that
Mhm.
when people see that there's an option for 5, that they tend to try to opt in for it more
Mhm.
because it's available, it's the lowest package. So we
Yeah.
actually only do 7, 5, 10. And I think another thing with sales is just setting expectations, but it being extremely candid about what the candidate needs.
Mhm.
Like I'm very clear with them. I just communicate to them that like I would, love to sell you the package of 7, but I know that by the end of the treatment plan, 10 or 15 is needed and I would
Mhm.
rather you, be happy than settle just because you don't want to spend the money and then come out of this lacking results. So I think just being extremely candid about the recommendation, and then giving them options for
Mhm.
charity, payment plans. One technique that has been working really well for all of our technicians that do the consultations is assumption. So, like at the end of it, when we go through the process, we like to have the conversation while they're still on the treatment bed about like the packages and what we would recommend. So, we actually like to use the technique and we basically just assume that they're going to buy the package.
Yeah.
So, so basically, we'll just say, if they're doing a package of 10, um, we'll just assume. So you want to go ahead and get started with the package of 10. That has been working really, really, really well for us.
Mhm.
Um, I would say that is most of the technician's technique. Other than that, I think just being extremely candid and honest with them. I think that they can feel that. And so
Mhm.
that's kind of how I like to go about it. And then we have a sales process following up too. So if they don't purchase the day of, we
Mm.
will reach out um, within 3 days, and then 7 days, and then 14 days. We like to call them, I mean, texting once in a while if you already have that form of communication happening, but for the most part, we find that calling them works better. Um,
Mhm.
and then another thing that we like to do is we'll actually waive visits, um, the first visit, so the 179 when they come in for the special, we let them know as we're going over through the process that we'll waive the 179 if they decide to purchase a package that day. So that's something else that seems to apply a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
pressure,
Mm-hmm.
and also gives them something to get them to close that day.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really that's about it for the sales process.
That's awesome. I just want to go over a few of the great things you said. I wrote them down. One is
Yeah,
obviously like being like super honest with them, building a connection with them, chatting with them the entire time, not just leaving them in the treatment room, but like chatting with them about their life, like becoming like their friend, getting to know them, making sure they feel comfortable, like even talking about like probably like non-related like treatment stuff, just like kind of like as a human, just like talking to them. That sounds like it's
absolutely.
very helpful. It
Yeah.
sounds like you also acknowledge the fact they might be nervous as well. Like you can see it on them and like you acknowledge it, like you talk about the elephant in the room. If you see like they're feeling a bit nervous, which people might be, like you come to a place you've never been before, it makes sense. Like the first time might be a bit like you might be a bit anxious or nervous. It's your first time in a new place, right? That makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and also I like that you have a really good like follow-up process. So you and your technicians call them 3 days, 7 days, and 14 days later. Do you write it down? Like how do you remember to follow up with them or so on?
Yeah, so we actually keep it's kind of old school, but we're that's actually something that we're working on right now. We keep files. So like for each month,
No way.
yeah. So for each month, we keep because we keep their paperwork. I
And
mean,
then you send it via fax, right?
we do set like it's a little different with all the technicians because some of our technicians are older and so that works well for them. Now some of us do we just set reminders on our app for
Okay.
reminder like for reminding for each of the clients,
Okay.
but they do keep files as well. So they keep a closed file and then they just move it to the next file so that there's something that they can write their notes on. But we're
Hmm.
looking into a system that obviously can better accommodate keeping track of that. Because
Hmm.
what we use Square and it's great. There's appointment notes, packages,
Hmm.
everything that we need. That's the only thing that it's lacking.
I
So
see.
we
So,
lack that.
something I'm actually working on for the clients, it's for you to have your own Google Sheet, and you can kind of like put like dates there, and it will send you and your team automated reminders on when to follow up with people. Um,
Yeah, that's awesome.
so that's something we're actually working on. But that's awesome. And you feel like a decent portion of the packages you sell do actually come from the follow-up?
Oh, me specifically, if I don't sell them that day, like I probably maybe like 50% of the people that I don't close will purchase within 2 weeks of leaving.
15 or 50?
50. Like
Oh,
I
wow.
I
Wow.
myself do a lot of closing post.
Wow.
Yeah.
So by calling them like 3 days, 7 days, and 14 days. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, even like the next day, like
Yeah.
all the girls have to do it within 72 hours, but myself, like I know most people leave and I've done it before, so I know the next day you really feel it. And it's exciting. And I think to catch them when they're in that phase, when they're
Mm,
excited, they're feeling it, they're ready to buy.
you're saying like they feel the results a little bit. That's what you
Yes.
mean.
The
I see.
inches, the loss. Yep.
Nice. Now I say like, yeah, that's a good point. Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I think it's important because sometimes a lot of our clients are a little nervous in the sense that, like, yeah, you can see an inch of loss instant that day when we measure.
Hmm.
But I think they think that it's temporary. So when they leave and a day or two later and they're still feeling the loss, I think it kind of proves to them that
Yeah.
it works.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it. I never heard like that's really smart. I'm definitely gonna write it down. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I'm curious. I'm sure you probably get like a lot of like objections and some other clients of us too. Things like, oh, I need to think about it. Or if they tell you that, oh, I want to talk with my husband first. Something like that. How do you handle like these objections? Like if they want to talk to their husband, their spouse, or they say like, oh, I want to think about it.
Yeah, I know that Paige, she's like our head sales gal. she likes to prompt them with like, okay, if you want to step outside for a couple minutes and speak with him. And surprising, like a lot of women will just like text or call them, step out of the office, and then come back. And then I think another thing is just like what I do is I don't push it too much. I allow them the space for that conversation because I know that most of the time it is very important. Like sometimes you can push it a little bit and but most of the time they are really wanting to go talk to their husband because their husband might control the finances. And so I think allowing space for that to actually
Mm-hmm.
happen. So they're the people that I will continue to check in with a couple days after the treatment. I'll text and call them.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And when you said with Paige, like she gives them like a few minutes to speak with them, at what part of the appointment, like the beginning, the middle, or the end?
So towards the end, so
Okay.
once they're on the table and she's talking to them about the best options, and then
Mm-hmm.
they might, mention that, and then she'll just communicate to them, like, I'll give you a couple minutes to call your husband before I start my next client so that we can get you this deal that we're offering today.
Awesome. Awesome. I see. Mm-mm-mm. And do you, so you do offer them like an incentive, like if they buy on the same day, we waive them the first treatment, right? The promotion.
Yeah. So same day we waive the balance
Yeah.
150. I've been trying out the past couple of weeks. It's been working really well for me. I I give them the numbers. So our 10 pack is 29.50. So it's 295 per session. And normally it's 400.
Mm-hmm.
So I tell them that if they buy that day, that they can get the discounted package, which would be the $1,100 off.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another way that we've been doing it that kind of incentivizes them on a greater scale for
Yeah.
discounting.
Okay, awesome, awesome. I love it. And I guess you also have like visual tools, like you show them like before and afters gallery during the appointment
Yeah,
as well.
I mean, that is like the second thing that I do. We have an iPad with an album of about 150 before and after
Oh
photos.
wow.
And that's what we do at the beginning, after we talk about their areas, what bothers them, and then we'll go through the photos with them while they're laying there. And we
Awesome.
also have them on a TV screen in our waiting room.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Oh, this is so good. This is
Yeah,
us.
a lot of our clients wait 10 to 15 minutes usually. Unfortunately, it's just the way it works. So we have TV screens and we just have a, a,
Yeah,
a timer that every 15 seconds it goes to a new photo.
I love it. Oh, I
And
love it. This is brilliant.
yeah, and we take photos for our clients every visit almost, and it seems excessive, but it allows us to get quality before and after photos because
Yes.
sometimes, whether it's the lighting, they're bloated, the clothing, you don't get the best shot. So we like to take photos each visit.
I love it. I feel like it's really good because also like somebody comes to a new place, they might feel a little bit nervous. Then if they wait 5 minutes, but in these 5 minutes they see 20 different like before and afters in the waiting room, like they're already more excited like when they come to the appointment, they like meet the specialist, the technician, because like that it makes them like it gives them confidence, like in these few
Absolutely.
minutes.
Huge.
Yeah,
And
I
most
love
of the
it.
people, when I do the consultation and I go to flip through the before and after photos, a lot of them will be like, you don't even need to show me them because I just saw about 100 of them in your waiting room.
I love it. Oh, I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. That's awesome. That's great. Awesome. Before we move to the second part, kind of like about the hiring, anything else, any other tips you want like for the consultation process, any other thing that you want to edit, like you wish you knew earlier that you learned, or that's pretty much
Oh,
it?
um, I think I've said this several times, but just being honest and
Yeah.
setting expectations, I think is probably the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. and being informative and not assuming anything. A lot
Hmm.
of my clients buy because I repeat myself and give them as much information as possible so that they can feel comfortable making an educated decision.
Hmm.
And I think a lot of people feel more comfortable when they're with, someone that seems like they have their best interests and they're just
Yeah.
trying to give them as much info as possible, as opposed to someone who is just trying to sell them.
Hmm.
So I just try to educate them a lot.
Awesome. I appreciate it. And also, I know like some clinics, what they do the consultation and they try to sell the package before the treatment, but you do it as the treatment goes, it sounds like, right?
Absolutely.
Because you want to use all of the time to build a relationship with them, or like you talk to them, you do the consultation while doing the treatment, it sounds like, together. Because it
Exactly.
gives you more
Yep.
time.
Yep. And we just try to do it more laid back because I think, it is a vulnerable
Yeah,
situation. And so I
yeah,
think if you're trying to, take them in a room and hard sell them after that, it's like their walls go up, or
yeah,
we try to get the walls down and then.
yeah. Yeah, so it feels like more like natural, more like laid back, like more like one step at a time. It doesn't feel rushed. You just like talk to them like as the treatment goes, like you slowly go through it like one step at a time. And also like I really loved it, like you also said that like a big portions of the packages come like the next day or like a few 2 days afterward as well. I feel like a lot of people don't do that. Don't
Yeah.
even like call them like to follow up the next day or 2 days. So that's amazing you do that.
Yeah. Yeah. We sell a lot that way. We do.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Kind of going to the second part, uh, you were able to build a really, really good team to help you like manage and run like these 3 locations. And I know it hasn't always been like that. I remember when we started working together, you had like some issues with team members, and like that's one of the hardest thing, like to try to like remove yourself from the business and have other people do that part. I would say that's like the hardest part of business, like
Yeah.
hiring, training, hiring, like finding good talent, managing them, training them. Um, can you share with us kind of like something that you learned and now about like your hiring process and like training and managing other providers and like things that you wish you knew 6 years ago?
Yeah, no, I have learned so much, especially specifically with hiring. I think one of the biggest things over the years that I've learned is, as corny as this may sound, like you do attract what you put
Mm-hmm.
out. And so I think figuring out like what the vision is for your business and your core values, and then every day operating off of them, because I feel like when I really took the time to envision that, then I started to
Mm.
attract people that aligned with that. Because when I was hiring before, I was scheduling people wherever I could for interviews, and I would show up and I'd be 5 minutes late because I was just getting done with a client,
Mm-hmm.
and so like I think just being more organized, having more processes in place, and then just embodying exactly, what your
Mm-hmm.
values are. Because um, my team now compared to 3 years ago is not even comparable.
Even 6 months ago, like
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
remember, I know because we've been working together for a minute. It's a big
absolutely.
difference.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think um, hiring hiring based off of like what your values are and what you want out of your employees. Like a big thing for me is like these girls, number one, or women, have to be able to sell. That's the biggest thing. I would hire to hire just to have a technician. And now I hire with purpose. So not
Mm-hmm.
only do I want technicians who can be trusted, are experienced, and are motivated, but also who bring value in selling. Like our technicians, like our sales team, can do 60, 70, 80, $100,000 a month. But our technicians, just from upselling, are doing 20,000 a month. So I think finding,
Oh,
yeah, finding
nice.
technicians who are also capable of selling. And not only that, but the main thing for us is building relationships.
Yeah.
Like I emphasize that. I make sure it's, my staff's one of their three core values, because if they, I mean, that's like what the business is built off
Yeah.
of. So if they're not able to, have a personality where they can show up for the clients, be trusted, build relationships and connections, that's definitely the first thing that I look for. Um, and just being patient, like I will, go through, 50 to 300 applicants waiting for the right person rather than
Oh.
hiring just to fill a spot. So also, giving the time to making sure it's a good fit.
Hmm.
Yeah.
See, I know you spend a lot of time hiring. I think just today you have like a bunch of interviews.
Yeah.
You told me.
I
Well,
do I do a lot of phone interviews. So
okay.
before I waste anyone's time, I write down 7 questions, and it takes less than 3 minutes to call each applicant. And if they don't, align with what I'm looking for, I don't even bring them in for an interview,
Hmm.
because it's just a waste of time. So I go through like a disqualification process.
Hmm.
And then if they seem like someone I want to meet, I bring them in for an interview, and then I bring them in for a working interview for the rest of the team to meet to see
Mm.
a good fit. I'll actually pay them for a couple hours to come in and hang out with us, for the third interview.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
I read some books on like hiring, and like it's really good to have like a few process, like a few steps, take it slow. Like it's better to like hire nobody than hire the wrong fit. Uh,
absolutely. I learned that the
definitely.
hard way. Not through a book. three
Definitely
years.
definitely the hard way. Definitely the hard way. Where do you get like applicants from? Like which sources do you get them from?
Um, I do a lot off of referrals. Like I
Okay.
talk to everyone at any chance I get. And then I use Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a lot to that too, like the words you use, not only like for the body of the ad, but for like the people that you're looking for. I usually use Chat GPT and go through, a bunch of different terms to come up with the perfect word that people are searching,
Mm-hmm.
that aligns with the candidate that I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm. I see.
Yeah.
And I guess like the best ones were from like referrals, like from people like and so on.
Yeah, I just talk to all of my clients, the girls, like
Mm-hmm.
any other business owners I know locally that are in the same industry. When I'm hiring, everyone knows. Like it's actually me. I talk to everyone about it.
That's funny. I love it. I love it. How do you train your team to sell as good as you? Like especially when you bring somebody new.
Yeah. So basically our training process is I make sure that they have years of selling already. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not interested in training someone into selling. They either have it or they don't, and that's just my experience and my opinion.
Yeah.
Um, because there's a lot of people that I've worked with over the years who weren't actually comfortable selling. And so obviously it showed in their performance. So I make sure that
Yeah.
they have a proven sales history experience of at least 5 years. And then from there, they really have to be passionate about what they're selling. So most of our girls have had their own experience or have been in the med spa wellness weight loss
Yeah.
industry for years. So those are the two main things that I look for when I bring them on. I have them shadow me and the girls a lot. And
Mm-hmm.
then throughout the sales process, we do a lot of role playing. And then I'll slowly integrate them into um, our sales, our consults. So I'll have them maybe start the first part of the process, and then I'll kind of work it in and
Mm-hmm.
do the rest of it, and then I'll let them do the closing a few times, and then we get to the point where they'll just start to do it start to finish. But for the most part, if they have what it takes, they're like ready to go. So that process ends up being a lot shorter than what I just what I
Yeah.
communicated.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it. Mm, 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 mm. And anything else that any other like tips for like whether it's either hiring or like managing on the day to day for the teams? Any other like tips or things that you want to share, things that you wish you know? Anything else?
I would say, I mean, really, to me, it comes down to um, making sure there's processes for sales and consultation,
Yeah.
and then also your staff. So,
Yeah.
other than that, I don't know that there's anything specifically. I'm sure if I really thought about it, I would have a list of things, but
Yeah.
right now, nothing off the top of my mind.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it. I mean, you shared so much. It's gonna be very, very valuable for so many other clinics. So I really appreciate it. Kind of like to summarize a few last questions, Taylor. How's been your experience with Bluefer so far?
Oh my gosh, don't even get me started on this. This is honestly, I'm not gonna lie, this is 50% of it. So like we are good. There's no doubt about that. My team is awesome. But with you guys, we are amazing. I mean, it really like staff, sales, and then marketing. And marketing is huge, and having someone that is consistent, knows what they're doing, has experience, can show up and also grow with you. And that is what has been amazing for us because I think there were so many. I mean, I've been doing this for 6 years. I've probably been through, I have no idea, 10 marketing companies. And I always felt like that was the department that was holding us back. And
Mhm.
so it's been amazing to have someone that we can grow with. But to answer your other question, that actually kind of brings something up. I think, um, like one thing years ago that I always like hiring more people. Like I was so nervous to bring on more people because I didn't know, you know, if we would grow. And I think not being able to put more ad spend in is probably like the number one thing that I would be a giveaway because for me for years I was like, oh, we can only do like 1,500, 2,000, 2,500, or whatever it might be. I got so stuck on that like on the other side of that was, seven more employees and 50 to 70,000 more dollars. So I think hiring more people when need be. Like anytime I feel like our schedule's becoming full, I wait a couple weeks, and if it's still full and we have, we're getting booked up, I'll hire another person and then continuing to put more ad spend if I feel like we're getting to a place where we're growing and we need, we want to add more clients, not being
Mhm.
afraid to invest more into the business because it will undoubtedly come back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
So
anyway,
you
you guys have been amazing.
thank you, Taylor. I appreciate it.
That
Let's
was my
do
point.
yeah, well, you have to have both. Like you gotta have like both supply and demand. Like you have to have like the people coming, but also like the staff to support them. And if you want to scale, you have to be able to increase both of
Yeah.
like the supply, which is like your providers, and the demand, which is like the marketing, the patients that
Yeah.
are coming. Last two questions. What would you say to somebody who's considering working with Bluefer, but they're on the fence?
Oh my God. Do it. Just do it. Don't think about it. And in like not even 2 weeks, but let's get it 4 to 6 weeks, you will be thanking yourself.
Thank you so much, Taylor. I appreciate it. Last question. Any final words or advice you want to give for anybody who's watching in the industry? Anything you want.
I mean, I think
In
like,
general. It can be
yeah,
about anything.
just believe in yourself and believe in what you're doing. And I think that having the confidence that it'll work out if you put in the work and just keep going, that it'll come. Because for years I struggled, and there were definitely points where I thought like, is this worth it? Like I'm working constantly, like every day, Monday through Sunday, morning till night. And I think if you just keep going and put in the hard work and trust yourself and trust your team, that it'll come and it'll get better.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Taylor. Thank you so much for all of the wonderful feedback again you shared with us, both regarding like the consultation process and also regarding like the hiring process. I learned a lot from this. These are things like if we never had this call, I would never know, and I'm so
Yeah.
happy we can share it with other clients. Also, one really good feedback I got from you. I will make sure that our team actually calls them more often to confirm the call. So I think it will make people a bit like more excited, a bit less nervous for coming up. So that's something I will definitely take to make sure like my team calls them more as
Absolutely.
well, to
Yeah.
make sure like they're comfortable, especially if they were booked a bit far out. So I appreciate that. Again, I appreciate all of the suggestions you share with us for the sales process for the hiring. I'm sure so many people are going to get so much value from it. And again, thank you so much. I know how busy your day is, so thank you
Yeah.
for jumping on the Zoom call. And again, it's been wonderful working with you for so long and going and adding more locations. I can't wait to see like what the next few years bring us.
I know, me too. I'm so excited and I'm so beyond grateful that we found you guys. You have been absolutely amazing. And I don't know that we would be able to have the growth that we have had and will have if it wasn't for you guys. So
Aw,
thank you.
thank you so much.